How's it going, my dreamers? This is Born to Dream, here with another raid boss guide for you guys. Be sure to leave a like down below if you're enjoying the video. Subscribe for some more raid boss content, and check out the playlist in the description down below if you like seeing previous raid boss videos, because I have a good amount of videos down there for you guys. I did do the Jinx raid boss guide, so if you guys haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and check that out. And I've done previous raid boss guides, including Machamp, which is the only other raid boss to talk about other than Azumarill, Piloswine, and Jinx. And I also got a little surprise for you guys today in relation to raid boss guides. But anyways, we are here to talk about Azumarill today. And yeah, we're going to talk about Azumarill here. Now, in my opinion, I've done quite a few raid bosses, I like to think. Not gonna say I'm an expert or anything, but in my opinion, I think Azumarill is the second easiest raid boss we have had thus far. I say that only Porygon is easier than Azumarill. And I would say Scyther is a little bit more difficult than Azumarill, because if you don't have golems, it's a little more difficult, because then you have to get a lot of fire types, and fire types aren't the most plentiful, and you're not taking advantage of that 4 times weakness. But Scyther is still very easy to solo. The thing that separates Azumarill from Porygon is Azumarill is a little better at dealing with its counters than Porygon. Literally, with Porygon, you could walk into any Porygon raid with any, I almost want to say any good Pokemon that are powered up and, you know, have the right movesets. You could literally walk in there with almost anything, I feel like, and solo Porygon. Porygon is not a challenge at all, and Porygon's gone anyways, so you can't do that anymore. But Azumarill is a little better at dealing with its counters than Porygon, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But another thing about Azumarill is its typing. Now, Azumarill is only weak to electric, grass, and poison. It's neutral to steel. So what that means is you're very limited on what you can use against Azumarill. A lot of the popular stuff that you would normally use in raids or gym battles, you can't use. You can't use Machamp. You can't use Tyranitar at all, because Tyranitar will get slaughtered by this thing. What are some other popular ones? It's really those two. Dragonite, Salamence, Rayquaza you can't really use against Azumarill because it's a fairy type. There's a lot of those out there. There are a few Pokemon that can beat Azumarill, and we'll talk about that as well in a minute. But generally speaking, what you use against Azumarill is there's not. I don't want to say there's a huge list of Pokemon that you can use against Azumarill, but there's a decent enough list to where you should be able to solo Azumarill easily, assuming you have the right Pokemon. Now let's talk about its stats. So, it has 112 in attack, which is very, very poor. But the reason why it has such a low attack is because in the main series games, Azumarill gets access to, I believe it's called Huge Power. There's Huge Power and Pure Power. I'm pretty sure Azumarill gets Huge Power. Now, Huge Power in the main series games basically gives you a 50% bonus. So 112 attack would turn into, what is that, 56. 56 plus 112 is 168. So imagine this Azumarill here had 168 attack. Yeah, it would be pretty difficult. It wouldn't be impossible to solo, obviously, but it would be a little more difficult with that extra attack. Since Pokemon Go doesn't incorporate abilities, and since they didn't account for Azumarill's stats when putting Azumarill in the game, Azumarill has a very weak attack stat, which is something I think they really need to fix. especially if you're going to make Azumarill a raid boss, fix that attack stat and fix Medichamp's attack stat as well. That's a huge. It really hurts both of those two Pokemon, and they can't really live up to the potential that they normally live up to in the main series games. 152 defense. It's average. It's pretty average defense. Where Azumarill excels is HP. Now the problem with that is, as you guys know, HP is boosted when HP is a set amount when you make something a raid boss. So all tier 3 raid bosses have the same exact HP. All tier 4 raid bosses have the same exact HP. All legendaries have the same exact HP, which is horrible for Azumarill, because that is, in Pokemon Go at least, that is where Azumarill, that's what Azumarill relies on the most, is HP. And HP is nerfed when it becomes a raid boss, so it makes it a very poor raid boss. Now, if you're looking for a perfect IV Azumarill, 858 in non-boosted weather is what you're looking for. That's very low. That's lower than Porygon's max 8 CP. Azumarill has very low CP. But if you want a weather boosted Azumarill, you are looking at 1073 is perfect for Azumarill. Now, going back to its low CP, the reason why that Azumarill is a good gym defender, and basically the whole reason why I'm making this video, is it has very low CP. It has very low CP decay when you are talking about gyms, and the whole reason why I'm making this video is for basically lower level players, because I feel like Azumarill is a Pokemon you should have if you're a lower level player, because Azumarill stay in gyms for a decent amount of time if you are in like a low to medium traffic area. Azumarill's CP doesn't decay very fast, so it will stay in gyms longer. It will be harder to take down, because if you compare it to, like, let's say Blissey, if you just wait until Blissey is down to like basically whatever it is, like 600 CP, it just takes one battle to take it out. Azumarill, you have to wait a little longer. You probably have to wait over a day for it to get to very low, to its minimal CP. So that is why Azumarill is not better than Blissey, but it's more ideal in lower to medium traffic areas where you're not spamming Golden Razzes. So we'll talk about its moveset here. So we have Bubble, Hydro Pump, Rock Smash, Play Rough, Bubble, Play Rough, Rock Smash, Hydro Pump, Bubble, Ice Beam, and Rock Smash, Ice Beam. No legacy movesets for Azumarill, because I don't think there's that many Gen 2 Pokemon that have legacy movesets. There's like Suicune and maybe a few others. But Gen 2 doesn't have a whole lot of legacy movesets, because they really just did the legacy thing for Gen 1, I feel like. But the hardest among these is probably Bubble Ice Beam, I would say. It's between Bubble Play Rough and Bubble Ice Beam. Bubble Ice Beam covers Azumarill's weaknesses pretty well, just in terms of, like, people will typically use like grass types against Azumarill. Assuming you don't have a boosted Raikou, grass types are usually the best to go with, and so Azumarill has a way of dealing with that. There's not much else to talk about. I already talked about its weaknesses. I've basically talked about everything on this page. So we'll go ahead and jump into the counters. Now, the best Pokemon by far to use is Raikou right here. Raikou is not weak to any of Azumarill's moves, unlike Zapdos and Exeggutor and Venusaur and Groudon. It's not weak to any of Azumarill's moves, and I mean, Raikou is basically what you use when you're trying to take a Azumarill out of a gym, so it's no different here. Raikou is by far the best counter to Azumarill. Now, if you do not have a Raikou, and by the way, I did not do any Azumarill raids with Raikou. That is for you guys that don't have a powered up Raikou yet. Maybe you guys missed out on Raikou when Raikou was in your was on your continent. But I basically did this raid guide for you guys. I basically did this for newer level players that need Azumarills. That's why you guys are seeing this today. So your good counters are going to be Zapdos, Exeggutor, Groudon, and Venusaur. All of these Pokemon are weak to at least one of Azumarill's movesets. Actually, all 4 of these are weak to Ice Beam. Groudon is weak to Hydro Pump, obviously. But all of these share a weakness among Azumarill's movesets, but they do a lot of damage. And Venusaur actually resists Play Rough because of its poison typing. So, yeah, that is your good counters. And then your tank counters, Ho-Oh. To be honest, you don't really need a tank counter for Azumarill. You need to be able to beat it. It's not so much that Azumarill does so much damage, as you guys saw with its attack stat. It's that it takes a little bit of time to take down Azumarill, but not a whole lot of time. So, and then you guys can see this graphic here. What you guys will actually see me use is this guy right here. I absolutely love Sceptile. Sceptile is probably one of my favorite attackers, just because of the Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade moveset. As you can see, it's not as good as, say, Exeggutor, Zapdos, or Raikou. But, I mean, it just feels... I feel very comfortable with Sceptile because it's stupid easy to dodge with it. And, you know, there's a chance, like, let's say you go in with Exeggutor, and Exeggutor, you only get, like, 2 Solar Beams, but you don't get the third one. Sceptile, you can basically fire off all of its Leaf Blades, and right before it faints, like, you won't have any problems doing that. It's a very quick moveset, and I like quick movesets. That's why I like Gengar so much, too. Yeah, so the last thing we need to talk about is what weather should you go into with Azumarill. So let me get back to, where is it? I think it's raid bosses, right? Yes, thank you. Okay. So, the boosted weathers are going to be rain and cloudy. You guys will see a few cloudy solos in this, so I do get a 1k plus, Azumarill a couple times. But, these are the boosted weathers. Also the weathers you might not want to fight Azumarill in, along with snowy weather. Although rainy weather, I mean, wouldn't be bad because you get the, your electric types are boosted as well, and then you get the boosted Azumarill. But, if you're just starting out, you probably want to do this in clear weather. I would say in clear weather mostly, because cloudy weather boosts... I mean, I guess you can go in with poison types, but the thing about poison types is there really isn't any great standout poison types right now in the game. Maybe like Muck or something, which you guys saw on the last page was pretty poor. So, or Gengar with poison movesets, but a lot of people run ghost movesets for Gengar. So, yeah, that's basically you want to do Azumarill raids in clear weather if you're trying to see if you could do an Azumarill raid at least, and you go in with those grass types. Windy weather, partly cloudy weather, foggy weather really do nothing for you. Snowy weather you don't want because of Ice Beam, and then cloudy weather because of Play Rough, and rainy weather because of Bubble and Hydro Pump. So that's basically it for Azumarill. So we will go ahead and jump right into the battles. Alright, so first up we have Hydro Pump Azumarill, and I think by far this is the easiest because it is a 1-bar move, and 1-bar moves don't get fired off as much. So yeah, it's not too difficult to solo. You guys will also see my absolute love for Sceptile in these videos. I just prefer Sceptile over Exeggutor, just because I like dodging and I like firing off all of my Leaf Blades. I don't know about you guys, but I hate like getting to like midway or almost like full on a charge move like a solar beam or something, and then not being able to fire it off because I faint before, you know, I'm able to fire off that solar beam. Leaf Blade is just so much easier, and you guys can see I'm actually dodging these Hydro Pumps. I'm a little wary of the Hydro Pumps, that I wouldn't recommend trying to dodge as much as I have in this battle. You just gotta be aware of Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is very, very fast move for a charge move. So you have to watch the pauses. Like you guys saw that little brief pause right there. That is basically when you want to dodge the Hydro Pump. You guys can use, you know, Sceptile. You guys will see me using Sceptile a lot. Raikou is the best counter for this, but like I said in the video, you guys won't see me using Raikou because Raikou is by far the best counter to this, and I don't want to give you guys a stupid easy solo. I want a little bit of difficulty in it for me, so that way you guys get a better example of, you know, how to take on this raid boss. So you guys see me Fury Cutting, Leaf Blading away. There's another Pokemon that you can use as far as something that you can use Leaf Blade, and it's actually a poison type, so that helps as well. Victreebel. Victreebel also gets access to Leaf Blade. The only problem with Victreebel is it has two very slow charge moves, but if you want to get sort of the same effect with Victreebel, but you want that poison typing as well to resist the Play Rough, which you guys will see in the next clip, you guys can do that as well. Otherwise, you can use like Executor, you can use Venusaur. Venusaur is another poison type, poison grass type that you can use. You can use Tangela. There's plenty of grass types you can use out there, but yeah. Just keep in mind though that Azumarill is very tanky, so yeah. I mean, I guess I could have taken this out faster with Solar Beam, but I chose not to. But yeah, Azumarill is very bulky though, so don't overlook its bulk. So yeah. Alright, so next up we have Play Rough Azumarill, and as you guys can see, I have the Sceptile squad out once again. Play Rough Azumarill is probably the most difficult gym defender move, but I don't think it's the most difficult raid boss move. Mostly because I mean, yeah, it has more HP as a raid boss, so it'll be firing off way more Play Roughs and Ice Beams than as a gym defender, so that's kind of my reasoning for it. I don't feel like Play Rough does a ton of damage. Even to Sceptile here, I don't think it's doing too much to Sceptile. Sceptile is a very glass cannon, so yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal for... I mean, I guess if you're going in with electric types, I guess Play Rough would be harder than Ice Beam, but if you're going in with mostly grass types, I mean, Ice Beam is harder. Really just depends on what you go in with. I think all of Azumarill movesets are pretty similar, but I mean, it's the amount of difficulty between the three moves aren't that big, aren't that noticeable to me. The biggest thing with Azumarill is its bulk. It's a very bulky Pokemon. As you guys know, if you guys have taken Azumarill on in gym battles, it is a very bulky Pokemon. Even with the whole fixed HP thing, it still has pretty good defenses. So, but yeah, we're gonna keep Fury Cuttering. We're gonna keep Leaf Blading. I can give you guys some electric options too. So if you guys want to go with like Zapdos, Raikou, or Jolteon, those could be some choices for you guys. There's not really any real good poison types. Otherwise, I probably would be using them against this variant of Azumarill because Fairy or Poison is resistant to Fairy. So yeah, I would probably end up using a Poison type here if I could. But we're going to with the Exeggutor now. You guys can start seeing how much Solar Beam does to Azumarill. Fighting Azumarill is just like fighting Omastar. It's just like fighting Vaporeon. It's just like soloing any other water type you've ever soloed. Or if you were fighting Suicune back when Suicune was around. It's just like that. It's just use your best grass types, use your best electric types, and you should be good. So took down that Azumarill in about 36 seconds. So it's not tough to beat. It won't you know, it won't make you waste a lot of revives and potions. It's just you risk timing out against Azumarill. That's the only big deal about it. And Azumarill is very easy to catch as well. You guys can see I just throw very, very casual. Well, not in this video, but in the other video I was throwing very, very casual throws. It's not that difficult of a Pokemon to catch, so you should definitely catch it before your 12 to 14 balls are up. Alright, and last but not least, we have Ice Beam. As I mentioned before, Ice Beam is very strong to grass types, so that is why it is at the end here. It's also very strong to Zapdos, so keep that in mind. You guys see me using Jolteons here, because, I mean, I didn't want to use Exeggutors against Azumarill. I just wanted to use very fast, quick hitters that could dodge. Sceptile and Jolteon are two Pokemon that could definitely do that. So, yeah, you guys, this one will be kind of bland because you'll see like the same Pokemon over and over again. But I mean, it's whatever. You guys see how much the Ice Beams are doing to Sceptile. Not a whole lot considering it's an Ice move. If it was coming from, let's say, like a Omastar or something, I probably, you know, would have lost my Sceptile by now. I know Omastar doesn't get Ice Beam in Pokemon Go. I'm just like throwing stuff out there, but. Yeah, but basically with Ice Beam and Azumarill, you want to side towards electric types if you can. So this is where Raikou would excel, is against Ice Beam, and you would have a very easy time soloing Azumarill with Raikou. But like I said before, I'm not using Raikou here. I could use Raikou, honestly, and just do this like 10 or 15 seconds faster, but I wanted to show you guys some other options that you can use against Azumarill other than just going straight for the Raikou. So keep going for these Leaf Blades. Probably gonna get this to yellow at about 104. That's very, very good for a level 3 solo. So yeah, even Ice Beam is just not doing a lot. I did dodge that one, but you guys can see how much damage I took from the dodge. Usually dodge hits do more damage than that, especially if you're facing like an Alakazam or something like that, where it's not even super effective. But yeah, gonna keep Leaf Blading this. It's gonna take me out eventually. Might get one more. I think I got that. No, I didn't get it off. Okay. But going in with this Jolteon here, and I didn't TM the Jolteons. I don't really use Jolteon that much. I know Jolteon once upon a time was very, very popular, especially when Raikou wasn't around, but I wasn't really a part of that. I had other options that I like to use over Jolteon back then, so but yeah, you could definitely solo this Azumarill a lot faster if you're not using Volt Switch Jolteon. You guys get to see just how slow Volt Switch is. It's so freaking slow, but going for these discharges here. As far as like electric type movesets, I don't know which is better, Discharge or Thunder. Just went in with Discharge because again I didn't want to TM my Jolteon. So yeah, that's it. I had 2 cloudy weather solos for you guys, by the way, if you guys didn't notice. So you guys got to see the 1K Azumarill. So, anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Next raid boss guide video will be on Piloswine, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to do these Azumarill raids, I highly recommend it. Especially if you're a lower level, the more Azumarills you have, the longer they'll stay in gyms for you if you're a low level player, and that might be a big help for you getting your 50 coins a day. So I will see you guys in the next video. Keep living the dream. Goodbye.